So when you're live streaming, a lot of times you get the same questions over and over again. And you know what's kind of crazy? I get this completely noob question all the time. Phil, how can I find myself that 4-socketed Monarch for the Spirit Shield? And you know what I think about this question? I think it is absolutely spectacular that I get it all the time. And that's actually because that means there's actually old school players coming back to Diablo 2 Resurrected, or people coming to Diablo 2 Resurrected for the very first time. Now, new players to community is absolutely great, so I have no problem answering it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here in this video today. Now, my opinion is a little bit different than other people's that you might hear, so make sure you stick around, watch the whole video, and listen up. I feel like I have a pretty good touch on what it's like for new players to get into the game because I am actually a pretty casual person, even though I am a Diablo 2 Resurrected content creator. Now, the most common place and the most common way that I'll hear people kind of recommend how to get your either white Monarch or a 4-socketed Monarch is go to a high players count cows with no magic find, slaughter them down until you get your Monarch to drop. Now, I personally do not believe this is actually good advice for somebody asking you how to get their white Monarch. Yes, it is true. When you have a high players count in the game, it means that more items can drop, which means you're more likely by killing the same number of monsters to have a white Monarch or a socketed Monarch drop off more quickly. But I believe you got to stop and think to yourself, wait a second, who would be asking me how to find their white Monarch or 4-socketed Monarch for Spirit? That's going to be someone who has such bad gear on their character that they don't even have a Spirit Shield. Now, how well do you think a character with that bad a gear is going to go against these monsters with incredibly large life pools? Well, let's take a look at one right now. I got this set up as an Energy Shield Nova Sorceress, but much like, you know, these newer people, maybe I just got through the game. Here we're at level 72. Not perfect gear, not great gear, because I don't have a Spirit Shield. I got this rhyme right behind my bald head. I might have a Spirit Sword. I probably still have Stealth. Maybe I'll make a Lore and some other items, but not really much to help me out. Alrighty, well, here's some cows. We can static them down with our static, of course. Start flashing them. Oh, boy. We'll keep flashing. Oh, Mercenary's about to die. I gotta give him potions. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So this is a high players count cows. And yeah, this is how Nova Sorceress works against it. So for a vast majority of builds, I would not recommend necessarily going at a high players count cows to get your Monarch. Now, if you are a high level character, like you're level 95, a perfectly decked out Javazan, sure, you're going to do great. But I guarantee you're not going to need a Spirit Monarch at that point. You're already going to have way better gear than that. Now, this isn't really a one-size-fits-all. Every character should go do this, go right here, and you'll get your white Monarch. It's going to more be the tools that you can use to decide and to choose where you're going to go out and farm, and then you're going to eventually find that white Monarch. And it is important to note, Diablo 2 isn't one of those games where every single item, you can just go out, you do this, and boom, you will get that thing. There is luck. It's called RNG, random number generation. That's how it determines what's dropped, so you never know exactly what you're going to get. So results may vary. You may find your Monarch super quick, maybe in the first minute, or it could take you some time. So I don't want to assume that everybody knows everything, so I want to make sure I point out you're going to want to hunt for these Monarchs in Hell difficulty. Don't really expect to find them in Nightmare. That does throw a little bit of a wrench in it if you start talking about Nightmare Terror Zones, I suppose, under these certain circumstances. But in general, I personally don't recommend farming Nightmare Terror Zones anyways, and sacrificing the ability to find like a job rune in Hell. So throughout the whole video, I am talking about farming Hell difficulty. First place I recommend for almost every single character, either right after you beat Hell or even before you beat Hell difficulty, that's head out to the Black Martian Act 1. After that, teleport or run around depending on your character till you find this, the Forgotten Tower. Now, a lot of people know at the bottom of the Forgotten Tower is the Countess, and the Countess drops runes that you'll need in order to make your spirit anyways, but also look at these incredibly weak packs along the way. Now, I did forget to turn the players count down, but the thing is, you notice I'm actually killing some stuff here, unlike in the cows, and I didn't even use static. That's because the monsters here are much weaker than they are actually Hell cows. Their life pools are drastically smaller. So killing these monsters, I didn't get a spirit here, but look at all of these different items that I got that could have all been that Monarch. But as you teleport down, check for these weaker packs like this and go ahead and take them out, and hopefully you get lucky and find your Monarch along the way. This is how I probably find, no kidding, whether you're sorceress, whether I'm a druid, whether I'm assassin, probably 80% of my white or socketed Monarchs on ladder, I find by going down to the Countess and taking out monster packs this way. Great on the way as well. These ghosts actually have an elevated rune drop chance. So if you take those out, it's not like a 500% chance, but it is an elevated chance, and they're really easy to take out. They're usually pretty slow. Here's a great place to show you what I would avoid though is, These archers, they can catch a hold of you. If the champion has the wrong roll, you're going to have a bad time. Another great place to note where you can get these monarchs. And I don't know the percentage, maybe 25% of the time I find a monarch, it's off of one of these armor racks down here as well. This is a spiked shield, unfortunately not a monarch. That would have been sick for the video, but you got a couple racks right here for weapons and for armor. You never know if you could get lucky. I definitely have off that rack a few times. And of course we have the Countess pack down here. Some archers, unfortunately, but you can get the runes right there from the Countess. Boom, there's one of them that you needed to go ahead and make that spirit. So this is one of the things that's going to be a theme. You're going to hear me say for a few times, you mostly want to be doing more than one thing at a time. So running down to the Countess, we're hoping to get the runes. We're taking out packs along the way where you can get all kinds of other good stuff, high runes, uniques, and stuff like that. But of course, you can get your monarch along the way as well. So in one run, you could be accomplishing 3 tasks at the same time. Next up, we're here in Act 2 out at the Stony Tombs, but I don't recommend necessarily that you do come out here. But if you have the exact build or a similar type of build, come out to the Stony Tombs. And this is going to give you one of the tools for you to look at your build and decide what place do you want to go to find your monarch, because it's not one specific place. The Stony Tomb being an 85 area, you can find every single unique in the game. You actually can get quite a bit of experience from these monsters out here, and also high runes and all those type of things, but you can also get your monarchs out here. So once again, as it's going to be, like I said, an incredibly popular theme, I'm always looking for more than one thing at once. I'm never going one place that might be the best for the monarch. You can accomplish many things, getting those rune word bases, getting the high runes along the way, maybe even get lucky with a griffins or a D-web or a super valuable item like that. So here I actually have a Hydra Fireball Sorceress. It's absolutely great for the Stony Tombs down here. There are no fire immunes down here, but on top of that, there are no inherent cold immunes, with the exception of one, the creeping feature. You don't really need to worry about him too much though, it's just one monster, right? So this is an area that I'm going to recommend for any characters that are either cold damage or fire damage. Examples of are something like the Fire Druid, Fire Trap Assassin, of course any of the Fire Sorceresses for sure, or of course Blizzard, or something like Frozen Orb. Going to be all great down here. So this is where, this is a tool that you'll need to know. Pick out what area you think is going to be great for your build, whatever is great for the element that you have, and go ahead and farm there. And I would generally pick 85 areas. So it's going to depend, but if you're like any of the physicals, the wind druids, go ahead and hit yourself down in the pits. 85 area with kind of weak monsters, and you can go ahead and take them out pretty easily. So another classic 85 area is the Ancient Tunnels. It's going to be great for any of those cold builds. So the most premier one is of course right here, the Blizzard Sorceress. Another 85 area where you can find everything in the game, including high runes and of course rune word bases. There's a elite base there, Bullrog skin. So just kind of to show you, you never know which base you're going to get, but hey, you always want to get lucky. Every once in a while you're going to get a cold immune like that from one of the uniques. Let's go ahead and skip them. That doesn't happen all that often. So as is the theme, you want to keep down in these 85 areas. This is kind of a rarer unique a little bit, I guess, but found this just halfway through the run or whatever, hoping to get something more valuable like a D-web or a griffins or something. But you can find the Grand Charms, like I said, the runes, and of course, the elite bases that eventually, if it was the right one, you could use for your rune words. Now, if you're any build except for ones that are cold damage, head out the Frigid Highlands, taking out Eldritch and then possibly Shank as well is another good spot. Now here I'm actually enchanting up my Mercenary and using a Firewall Sorceress, maybe not the most goated in the entire world, but it is something. So this is just to show you there's a lot of different builds. You can come out here and kind of melt these guys down, unfortunately immune to fire. But this is one that I would kind of throw in with a different run. You come out here, there's an elite pack ready to rock, ready to go. Hopefully getting some, uniques or maybe a rune or something off there, but also hoping to get your monarch. So maybe not to spam farm it to get your monarch, but it's so quick you might as well throw it in. And down here we have Shank now, or yes, Shank. And, hoping to get lucky. Good thing too is when you take him out, all the monsters drop dead around as well. Make sure you double check that. So nothing now, but depending on your build, you can take him out incredibly fast. Now, there's a few other places I could talk about. They're pretty standard places, though. It's all like the 85 areas that kind of people have been farming forever. Whether it's the Chaos Sanctuary, really great for the Hammerdins, really great for the Fists of the Heavens Paladins. And actually, the last one is going to be one that I actually told you not to do. And that's actually going out to cows. But really, this is kind of only with one specific build. If you're starting off your ladder in one specific way, some people love going out and farming cows and then trying to find rune word bases to go ahead and trade up. Or, of course, cows do have a slightly elevated rune drop chance, so maybe get lucky with a high rune as well. This is not a way that I usually go because getting out into cows can be kind of tough. But if you are that Lightning Fury Javazon, this might be a good option for you. But kind of only that specific build in my opinion. So as for the magic find, they say having 0 magic find, technically that does increase your odds or whatever, but hey, at this point, don't you actually want some magic find? Would you be mad if you didn't find a Monarch yet, but you found a Shaco? Would you be mad if you found a Arachnid's Mesh? So that's why I think if you are still hunting for your spirit, it means your gear is super bad. I did a lot of this with 25 magic find here with this super budget gear. But if you do find a way to stack up that magic find, you're not going to be mad if you find a perfect D-web before you find your Monarch on ladder. Trust me, you are not. So I wouldn't worry as much about getting 0 magic find. I would kind of utilize it the same way I would normally if you're going out to magic find in an 85 area trying to find these rare uniques that can be invaluable or any of the uniques that are incredibly useful. I would go ahead and stack some of it up there, hoping to get that stuff, and you can still absolutely find a white or socketed Monarch along the way. So if you think this advice helped you out, hit that like button and subscribe up so you don't miss any of the future live streams on this channel or future videos. Don't forget, check this video out right up over here. The YouTube algorithm knows you better than you know yourself, and it knows you're going to love it. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.